Hi, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Morning Vol Report. It is I, Andrew Giovinazzi, Chief Operating Officer of OptionPit.com, welcoming you to, well, yes, our Morning Vol Report. Again, register a Pro Trader Summit. Do you have to be a Pro Trader? No. Will you learn stuff from professional traders on VIX, mergers and acquisitions, looking for edge and option trades, trading an FDA pipeline, which would be kind of cool, and basically what we'll call accelerated theta strategies on short duration positions. So lots of good learning, in live learning. Mark and I do this every year. It's the most, well, it's part of the fun of Option Pit, but you get to learn from how people make money. We've had great speakers in the past. CEO of LiveVol, founder of LiveVol, Russell Rhodes is there. I do speak a little bit, but of course all our Option Pit Live people are tired of me and Mark speaking, but we're still there. And then we bring other guests in as well. So good event. June 28th to the 30th. Oh, it's also my birthday too, so we'll probably have fun at a Chicago Steakhouse, White Sox, and all that kind of stuff. So just join Option Pit, and again, you learn a lot of stuff. Okay. Speaking of stuff, let's just go. It's like I almost every morning, at 5 o'clock or 5:30, whenever I get up. What is going on? What's the latest? What is the latest? What is the latest? What is the latest? And the latest is we're getting a little bounce off. We got some yesterday. Maybe we're not getting any tax, right? No headline news about geopolitical stuff. VIX down slightly. Again, what I would say here is we have a very odd term structure for as low as VIX is and as low as SPX volatility is. So, our April 26th series, which is next week. Let's see our futures here, right? You can't even, again, I was discussing this morning. They are discounting the volatility hugely for next week, discounting the May. There's almost a totally flat May term structure, almost no sense of vol anywhere in the curve. I think we looked at what happened after Brexit. We looked at it after the election. There's some worry ahead of time, and nobody's going to be tricked going in. So they're not letting a lot of real downside vol happen because they're not letting the VIX move up. They're not letting the futures move up. And remember, vol traders or vol future traders respond to volume. And right now, let's just say there is scant vol buying. At 14.5, you get all this stuff that's potential, and you're just not getting any action. I think that's the market that we have. Trades that are interesting. I think the vol products are locked up as far as movement goes. You maybe be able to set something up on Friday. We looked at a pin for VXX of 17 yesterday for Friday, looking at ratio put spreads and things like that around that level. We could not find anything priced great, and they actually would have done okay getting 1x2s for even money. 17.5, 17 would have worked well. That would have been a nice trade. I like those for even. I would look at 17.5 as a potential pin. Again, same ideas. They're still pricing this stuff. They just won't give you can't get it for a credit. I just don't see a huge vol collapse in the futures. I think VIX cash can move a lot. I don't think the futures are going to move very much until the election's done this weekend. So you almost have two separate products. You have VIX cash moving, and then you have the vol products are more or less locked up until then. That's what we have. On a side note, you got a little rally in the banks. I think there's some interesting trade in there. We'll be looking for downside plays, ways to sell puts in the bank stocks today in our chat room. And as far as everything else, earnings-wise has been okay, not great, not bad. Still waiting for big technology earnings. Google's early May, a couple weeks away. We have about a week or so for Google. Apple's early May. So we're waiting for kind of the mainline earnings to come out. I think the Qs have really been the driver this year, I believe, if we look at it. we started January. I still picking the Qs as my my outperformer over the rest of the S&P 500 this year. Just I think that this but note to self, I'm long a lot of Qs. But this is where like the big internet growth is just now after 20 years in, it is continuing to gobble sections. So anyway, that's closet pick for the year as a performer of the Qs. Again, valuations are getting more expensive, but still nothing like 2000, not even in the same breath close. Maybe Amazon has a huge multiple, but most everything else is totally reasonable with the growth. So again, you got to look past this week for volatility. I think you're not going to get many vol trades except some possible pin plays for tomorrow. We can look at those. I think downside for the banks trying to sell ratio put spreads. We're starting to see drops in vol here. We had pretty decent vol yesterday, not too bad. But I think you can start getting ratio put spreads for these levels here, starting to discount all of the, the market's discounted this early interest rate stuff pretty hard. So we're getting a pullback, and I think those are good areas for ratio put spreads and things like that. So we'll look at those on the chat room. Everything else I think is just kind of sliding around. The other potential trade I did would be oil, where it's rocking, it's rolling, and then it's not. So I don't see a lot going on in here, but anytime we can sell, like say USO 10 level, like $45 a barrel for oil, somewhere around those lines look decent. No, it's not. That's why I'll show you this trade, David. We picked it up in the platinum last night. All right, and with that, again, I don't expect to see much. Probably a small bid for VIX into the weekend. I just don't see them cratering it ahead of the weekend. But I could easily see VIX $1 higher, at least maybe 50 cents to 75 cents lower. But the future's kind of stuck where they are until the weekend happens. And that is our vol report. And I will talk to you all later.